guys, today I'm gonna go and do a walk around of this 91 MR2 that I picked up for 1,600 bucks off of Craigslist. You saw a snippet of it in the last video, but I didn't tell you what was exactly wrong with it other than a quick walk around. So today I'm gonna do a more in-depth view of the issues with this car and the parts I've already gotten for it. So it's pretty exciting. Let me flip this around and see what we got. Alright, so first things first, there is a weird hole right here, some pretty gnarly scratches. I'm gonna have to either get Bondo this up or get a whole new front end part for it. So I'll see if I can find a cheap front end. I'll get it. This is a little dented in. You see, it's kind of odd. I don't know if I can pop that out, but we'll see. And then the paint on this is terrible. It looks like spray paint or something. You can also notice that the front bumper, the hood, and the fender are all kind of a little different in color. So obviously the hood was replaced at some point. This antenna thing, it's missing the antenna, and I don't really like that it's there. So probably gonna get rid of that. The moonroof is in pretty good condition. Just a crack right here and a crack on the other side, but I haven't been able to find one without a crack yet that has a moonroof. Here I got a bad weather strip. I'm not sure how to replace that. If any of you guys have an idea of how to replace that particular part, I'd love to hear it. Leave it in the comments. I think I would just strip all that off, sand it down, and then just spray it with some black paint and call it a day. Let's see, we got some paint issues here. These wheels are crazy. They are like 15-inch wheels. There's a cap over them. When I remove the cap on this one, it looks like that. Oh yes, so these springs, let me see if I can have it focus. There is no spring. It literally has what, one wraparound. I think someone cut the springs on this, but it doesn't look like it's lowered either. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe the strut's still good. Hopefully I can still salvage the strut. I'll see. Let's see here. These ones have the non-round head tail lights, which are apparently the cooler ones, but these are still okay. I kind of like them. The back, this thing is replaced obviously by a different engine lid. This comes from the turbo version. That's why it has this raised thing. So I mean, I guess that works out because I'm gonna turbo this at some point. The paint over here is bad. Let's see, more bad paint here. Messed up weather stripping. These mirrors, not powered mirrors. Apparently they made a power mirror and window version, but I haven't. Apparently mine's just not it. So in other people's 91s, this has a power window, but mine has the old school, baby. Look at that, cranking it. It's kind of nice actually, one less thing to break, right? Since I'm making a race car out of this, so who cares? This, of course, you have to adjust it by hand. There's no electrical connection to that one. Maybe I can wire one from a different one. We'll see. Let's see. Inside, it looks pretty clean inside. The guy cleaned it up before he sold it to me. This shifter boot, I took the shifter boot off because it is totally jacked up and gnarly. I'm missing this knob for the temp control. This, I'm not even sure what that is. I'm assuming it's AC. It's all faded. This steering column is a little bit cracked. Looks like it was taken apart and it needs to be like reattached for whatever reason. Need to get a new steering wheel. Over here I got the driver's side seat with the messed up area where when you sit down as a driver you always drag your butt, and over time it just rips the seat. The if you look right here, you can see that the airbag has been deployed at some point, and I think this is the new steering wheel, but the SRS light is still on, so maybe it's not hooked up right or whatever. Hopefully when I'm driving the airbag doesn't just explode in my face. But I'll probably just get one of those, you know, detachable steering wheels. We won't even have to worry about airbags. Once again, temp gauge doesn't work. Okay, so let's go inside the car. Okay, so the front compartment looks pretty good actually. It's pretty clean in here. Die Hard battery looks good. All this other stuff, not sure what they are yet. There is a this tube here. I'm guessing this has something to do with the coolant. This is pretty dirty. Have to clean that all up. Okay, so the engine. Apparently these engines are really common and they're really available. So if I wanted to keep the regular engine, I can, and just swap a new engine. But hey, this is gonna be the super project car. The Spider is gonna be my daily. So I'm planning on dropping the Toyota Caldina motor in here. I just need a different wiring harness and the piping and stuff for it. So more to come on that, more to come. And this right here is what was inside the trunk. I got some weird metal part, and comes with a bonus. It's got the little cubby for the turbo version with some little brackets and stuff in here. I don't know where these belong to, but hey, it can never hurt to have more parts. All right, so that's the car as it is, and that's what it looks like when I bought it for $1,600. 250,000 miles. Temp gauge doesn't work. That's the only problems I know. And oil leak somewhere down there. Okay, so the goal for today is to get the temp gauge to work. So right here in the engine, the part that I pulled is right down way under here. You can't see it from this angle, but if you disconnect all the hoses, you can feel there's a sensor part down there, and I have to get to it. So I'm going to try to unplug it and then change the sensor and see what it looks like. Alright, so I took off both the sensors here. I got one that went up here, and this one that went over here onto this port. Now I have to take off this one, and then I can get to the one under it. Alright. Okay, so I'm doing some work here. I'm waiting for one of the sensors that had a plastic piece that I broke off on accident to cure with JB Weld. Can't get that part at AutoZone, unfortunately, so if it doesn't work, I'll have to go and get one from Pick and Pull. Taking apart, took the old spring out. This is the stock spring. Still looks good. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's making that crazy noise when I'm driving, but I put in the aftermarket lowering springs that I got from the junkyard off of the turbo MR2 and see how that works. Also picked up some awesome rims. This is one of them. There's some curb rash on there, but I'm going to spray it or sand it down and spray it with some spray paint Probably that that brassy color. It's gonna look really good with the red. These things look really aggressive on the MR2, so I can't wait. The only other thing that I'm doing is trying to take off these inlets here. I got side skirts for it that includes inlet pieces, so I've gotten this bolt off here, but this one is a problem child. You have to go all the way in the back here, and in there behind the seatbelt thing is a 10mm deep socket that I can't get to until I go and buy a deep socket adapter for it. You undo these 4 bolts here, you undo this one, well, loosen it while it's still on there, and then you undo this and this down here, these 2. Usually I'm used to it just clipping onto here, but for some reason it's like it's like really attached. I'm not sure how to take that off yet. I have to do some research on it in case I need to replace the strut. But I did pop out my fender here. Had a dent in it, and popping it out looks pretty good. I have to take the whole fender off in order to actually fix the body line, so I'm gonna do that next. You take it off of here, okay. Undid these bolts, undid this one. This whole thing comes off. Put the new spring on. My things that cover the strut, it's all jacked up, so I just cut them off. I think the strut's still fine because it's giving me some good dampening when I'm pushing on it. So, all right, now you just tighten this back up, stick it back up in the hole there, and connect these bolts back together, and you're all set. That's how you install new springs. I got great news. The temp gauge is working and the spring is in. So let's go look at the spring here. And well, you can't really see it that well, but it's in there. I'm gonna test it out and go for a drive. Just the driver's side one. Haven't done the passenger side one yet. I'll pull into the garage and do that next since it's getting dark. But the temp gauge, so let's go look at the temp gauge. Alright, see, there it is. Engine's running, temp gauge is at normal, and everything seems to be going fine. It hasn't blown up yet. So we'll see. I'm gonna go for a test drive. Okay, so I found another problem. Took off the wheel to do the springs on the passenger side, and when I took off the hubcap, it was missing one lug nut on here, and the lug nut that's missing was this one here, and it was all warped, and I can't get a lug nut on. So temporary solution, so I'm just gonna grind it down a little bit. I'm only losing just like that much of nut, and then I should be able to get another lug nut back on here with a good like 6 or 7 throws. This is the piece I hacksawed off so far. Okay, the thread was really warped right there. So now, just to smooth it out, it's time to grind this puppy. It's grinding time. Okay, so after all that grinding, this is the end result here. Basically, it's a little shorter than the other one. I'm not sure how to take this hub off and then just do a whole, you know, just a brand new drill slotted disc brake. And then when I do that, I'll just replace the studs as well. I'm gonna have to do some research on how to remove the whole brake caliper and the rotor. With the grinding, I can now put on a bolt. I got a pretty good amount of throw left over still, screwing it on by hand, so we'll see what it looks like once the rim is on and how much is left on that stud. Alright guys, so I'll catch you guys next time, and just a warning, I am not an expert, I don't claim to be a mechanic, I don't know anything about cars. I like to make them look good, and I like to fix them without paying other people to do it for me. And that's the whole point of this channel. So if you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and like and subscribe and leave me a comment, and I'll catch you guys next time.